Good morning. Welcome to another week in our fourth grade class. Hello, if you're new to my channel, my name is Mariely Sanchez and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. Today is Monday, August 28th, 2023, and it is the start of the third week of school, but the second full week. And this is going to be a hefty week. Tomorrow we have collaborative planning during our planning time. Wednesday we have a faculty meeting after school. And on Thursday is our open house. I know, that's soon, but that's what we're going to do on Thursday. This morning I came in and the students' desks are ready to go. I left it like that on Friday. The date is ready to go. I bought some things over the weekend that I want to quickly put together because I felt like it'll make putting on my lights in the classroom a little bit easier. So in here I have a lot of little goodies that I bought. I bought these teacher stamps from Amazon. I'll link them down below if you're interested. I got some hexagon lights from Five Below that I am thinking of using for my voice levels. So we'll see how this is. They have multiple colors and different settings. Also in Five Below, I found these little metal action figures. So here's Alex, here's the warden, and this is Steve. I also went to Dollar Tree and check it out. I found these wall stickers. Oh my goodness, I got 3 of them. They're all the same, but I got that to decorate the classroom. And this is the system that I'm going to use. It's a wireless remote control socket. I'm going to use 2 of them for now. One for my twinkly lights that go around the corner and one for my lamp right there. So all I have to do is use this remote to turn them on instead of, going manually over there. And I bought this small sharpener from Zacto. So let's see how long it lasts with the students using it. I also got these cute little post-it notes from Amazon. And here's the other side so that you can see how they look. Super cute. And I also found this cute little calculator in Five Below. So let me go ahead and set up those lights right now, eat my breakfast, and I'll catch up with you later. It's now the end of the day. I've been here in my classroom after dismissal getting things ready for tomorrow. As you saw, my lights work and it's awesome because I just have the remote and wherever I am in the classroom, I can just click it and turn off my lights or turn them on. So check it out. So these are my twinkle lights. Let me just get a little bit closer so you can see. And I can just click off and they're off, on, and it just takes a moment to go on because of how the cord works. And then on the back, I can just turn off or turn it on. That's so awesome. Makes life so much easier. And I love it. Just a simple little remote. I have another plug, so I don't know where I would use it, but I have another plug in case there's something else that I want to automate kind of thing. So today, I started with my homeroom this morning, and as soon as they came in, they were finishing their annotated handout. After that, they did an ABC brainstorming activity where I had them think for 5 minutes everything they can think about regarding natural disasters. After they did that, they shared with their group so that they can continue adding and collaborating to their list. And then we talked about it. We did a rereading of A World of Change, and we answered all the text evidence questions. And the students went ahead and also reviewed the prompt and reread source 1 for our writing. That's what I did with my homeroom. With my afternoon group, they also did the ABC brainstorming on natural disasters. Then I went ahead and read A World of Change with them for the first time. And then I had them do a cut and paste activity where they had to choose which of the pictures, and along with words, went either on the slow changes or fast changes. So here's a look of the ABC brainstorming that I did with my ELL group. So you will see some of the words are in Spanish along with being in English. So this is how it looked, and I just created a generic ABC brainstorming template so that we can use it for any topic, and up here they can just write the topic that we are brainstorming. Great way to have students think about the topic, activate their background knowledge, and get ready to learn. Of course, you could also do this with writing, activate their prior knowledge, get their ideas flowing, and then they can take it to writing. So that's another way that you can use this ABC brainstorming. I also wanted to show you the one that I created with my homeroom, which is my gifted group. So they had that as well. This is the form that my ELL class had. I think I showed it previously. They have these pictures along with words so that they can sort into whether they're a slow change or a fast change related to what we were reading in class today. And this here is my completed version so that you can have an idea. And I will be going over this with the students once everyone has corrected their mistakes. Because I did find some mistakes, so I went ahead and put it on their desk so that they can work on it tomorrow when they come in. And I also wanted to show you the sample that I created for the annotated reading handout that the students worked on. So again, this one they had to write what they already know about natural disasters. We did that last week. And today we went over what are the 3 different ways people try to prevent beach erosion. And of course, what are the 3 natural processes that slowly change the earth? We also added interesting words, compare and contrast signal words. We did a summary. And the last question was, why does a volcanic eruption cause a lot of destruction? So again, we're using some text evidence to complete this. So that's basically all that we did today in both classes. I did put the SPADE reading strategy on the board color-coded with a little bit of explanation for my ELL group, and I had them also do their notes like I had my Block 1 class do last week when we were reading A World of Change. And this is what that looks like. So SPADE strategies are reading strategy, survey the text, predict, analysis plus annotations, equals close reading, dissect questions, and evidence. So we went over that and make sure students were practicing using this while we were reading the text. So that's pretty much everything that I have to share with you for today, Monday. I will see you tomorrow. We are now at the end of the day on Tuesday and had a pretty good day with my students today. So I'll give you a little rundown of what we ended up doing. I didn't have planning today because we had collaborative planning meeting in the principal's office with the reading coach. So that took up my time. So it's actually 5:44. Didn't expect to be here this late. But on Thursday, like I mentioned, is our open house. So I was trying to update the PowerPoint with the new information. And because I'm doing one presentation in Spanish, which I did last year as well, but I never got around to translating the PowerPoint into Spanish. So I'm doing it now. Well, I've been working on it since the school day ended. There's like 50 pages on there and I got through halfway. So I did 25 pages today. I still have time tomorrow after the faculty meeting, and I'll finish it up so that I am not rushed on Thursday for when the parents do get here. I'm so glad I'm getting that done. So, and it's going to be saved, so I use it in the future for whatever. So yeah, Spanish. And yesterday I forgot to also give my students their homework, so I did get the copy machine to work today, got those assignments copied off and gave it to them. I have 2 different sets of homework, one for my ELL students and one for my gifted students, which is basically the same passage. And I love that Wonders provides to us differentiated text. So one of them is the passage that is for the Beyond readers, the other one is for ELL readers, and then I gave them a double bubble thinking map so that they can compare the 2 types of floods that are in the passage that they're reading about. Love it because it connects to the essential question that we're working on and the topic that we are reading in class. With my block 2, which I had this morning, they were finishing their sorting activity, making sure they corrected their errors. We went over it again, and I started using the scaffolded text for the shared read to go along with them. Let me go ahead and show you the color one that I have on the computer. So here is the scaffolded assignment, or shared read, I should say. So it has like a condensed version of the actual shared read with a glossary that also provides some words in Spanish for them. And after we read that little section, we start answering questions using the word bank. So we were able to read most of it, and we got to about this page. So this is the page that we're going to catch up on for tomorrow, and then we'll finish it off with the rest of it, which is be prepared. And then that will be it for this particular one, which is a great way for them to review it. So we went ahead and did that. I love that there's repetition. I love that there's closed sentences with word banks that students can use to go ahead and answer each question. And I then had them go ahead and do a double bubble. So it's similar to what they're going to do for homework, comparing slow changes versus fast changes. So here's an example of one of my students' work. So here we have slow changes and fast changes, how they're the same and how they are different. Since this is the first time I'm introducing this thinking map, I did give it to them printed, but in the future, I will guide the students in creating their own, because that is what's great about thinking maps. They take ownership over them and they can use them at any time because they're very simple to create. And that is basically what we ended up doing with my group this morning, my block 2. My block 1, which I had this afternoon on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they end the day with me. I had them work on the same double bubble, but that was their Smart Start activity. They had to compare and contrast slow changes and fast changes since they have read the source twice. And then we went over that. And then we started doing a lot of vocabulary activity, going over the words for this week, as well as going over multiple meaning words and having some vocabulary games to practice. Then after they came back from specials, we worked on writing and we read all 3 sources for our flood zones essay and started annotating. I started, bringing them to notice the introductions and the grabbers or hooks that the authors are using, the transition words and how they are explaining their claim and supporting it, because they're going to use that information to create their own. By the end of this week, I hope to have them at least write their introduction paragraphs and at least the topic sentence for 1 or 2 body paragraphs. So we'll see how we go. Tomorrow we're going to spend a lot of time on planning. And another thing that we did, I'm going to show you how we annotated the sources. In their writing notebooks, I had them start writing little notes of what each passage, like the main points that the passage was telling us and how we can use it to explain the argumentative prompt. So this is what I had them do. I had them write source 1, and then we looked at a few important things that source 1 talked about. We ran out of time, so we weren't able to completely finish writing our notes on source 1, but here's source 1. It was for yes, build in flood zones, and that's how we annotated it. We also answered the text evidence questions. And here's source 2, all annotated. This one is for don't build in flood zones. And this one actually talked about both developers versus environmentalists. So we're going to take notes on this source 2 and source 3. And tomorrow we're going to talk about bucketing the evidence and planning. So we're going to spend some time with that. And then hopefully by Thursday do introductions. And by Friday start topic sentences for body paragraphs. So that is what I have to share for today. Also, I want to say thank you so much for everyone who commented on either my Instagram reel or my YouTube video that I posted on my, hey, where have I been? Here I am, haven't posted in a year, but this is what's been happening. So I am so thankful and grateful for all of your amazing words and support. I really appreciate it. And I am very excited to be back and here sharing ideas. And I hope that you continue to come along with me on this journey. All right, so I am done for today. The rain caught me. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know. But I will see you tomorrow. It's now the end of the day, Wednesday, and we just had a very long faculty meeting. It wasn't very long. I want to say it was an hour and 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I guess that would be long. But anyway, feeling very tired. But I had a great day with the students. This morning I started with my block 1, and we went ahead and started with a warm-up on multiple meaning words. And right after that, we went into going over the reread strategy, diagrams, and headings that author uses as text features to help us understand the text a little better. And then we reviewed our compare and contrast. They had to create a Venn diagram or complete the Venn diagram in their RWC, comparing volcanoes and landslides. Then we went ahead and started reading earthquakes and kind of went in a little tangent of a lesson to go over the different layers of the earth so that they had a better understanding about the upper mantle and the crust and how the tectonic plates are on the crust, which sit on the upper mantle, and how the upper mantle acts like a thick gel, which that's where the tectonic plates move, and that's how we have earthquakes. So very interesting. We didn't get to finish our anchor text. It's okay. But we went into writing after that. And what we did is we finished our notes on the different sources. And then I had them sort the evidence from their notebook by drawing little symbols for the details that went together. And then I showed them the bucketing, the evidence strategy, which tomorrow they're going to work on creating their own bucket. Since I modeled one bucket, they're going to write 2 body paragraphs for this particular essay, since it's the first essay of the year. I don't necessarily tell my students how many body paragraphs to include in their essays. I tell them 2 or more. So since it's their first essay of the year, we're going to start with 2. These are the notes we took yesterday. These are the notes we took today for source 2 and source 3. And as you can see, we drew little symbols. So they said to use a briefcase for jobs. 2 sources mention jobs. And we drew money sign for things that cost money to repair and things like that. That little paper means about rules, which source 3 also talked about rules. The little grass, that's what they chose for wetlands. But we went specific, so we added a shield for protection. This one is the lowers or reduce flooding. So we use that to create the buckets. And tomorrow on this page, I'll give them a paper to tape into their sheet so that they can complete their bucket. And these are my wonky buckets that I created for that class. So this is for, yes, build in flood zones because it creates more jobs. And we included some evidence that supports that. And the S1 and the S3 and the S2, that refers to the sources that evidence comes from, which will help when we're citing evidence. And this one is for no, don't build in flood zones. And this one is because what wetlands protect. We don't need an S there, so that can come out. And we included some pieces of evidence from source 2 that support that. So I'm leaving these buckets up here so that when they work on their bucket tomorrow, they still have these as an example. But I'm also going to type up these buckets and have them add that to another page in their writing notebook so that they have it as a reference as to what that bucket or paragraph will turn into when they start writing. We're getting there, kids. We're getting there. I also stayed here very late yesterday translating. I think I already said that. The open house. I am not going to stay here late. It's 4 o'clock already. And when I get going, I do have an appointment at 5. And I want to go with my mom to Walmart to do some grocery shopping. So yeah, that was my morning. But I forgot to tell you about my afternoon. So my afternoon, we finished our little scaffolded share read booklet that I showed you yesterday. And then we went into reviewing vocabulary. And what I did is I used our ELL PowerPoint to review vocabulary, ask them questions, had them answer them. And then I also showed the movements of the words, which if I have time tomorrow, I'll set you up on a little tripod so I can show you the movements that I incorporated with the words so that they can help remember the meaning of the words. And we also looked at a game through WordWall, and the students were working on that today. And we also finished the day with writing. So with the ESOL kids, because they're ESOL level 1s and 2s, they're just barely learning English, we chunked the text so they don't read all the sources. And what we actually did is we had them, after we reviewed the prompt, which we analyzed that last week, I had them vote on their opinion on whether kids should, or kids, not kids, whether people should build or not build in flood zones. So I actually used Classroom Screen to create the poll. And I forgot to mention that that's what I had my Block 1 do yesterday as well. So let me show you that right now. So this is just a simple Classroom Screen. I do purchase the yearly option. I think it's like $20 so that I can have multiple screens saved. So this is my ESOL class. Most of them said, yes, people should build in flood zones. And mind you, this is just before we started reading the sources, just to kind of get an idea for them. But for my homeroom, which is my Block 1, we actually did the poll after we read the sources. So the majority of them said, no, people shouldn't build in flood zones. Now, of course, kids being kids, they want to know my opinion as to what I think about the topic. And I told them, well, it's kind of hard because I can support either side. And that's what I'm going to show them later on. And that their opinion is valid. Whatever they want to write, that's what they're going to focus their writing on. So that, my friends, is Wednesday. Middle of the day, middle of the week, middle of the week. See, this is how tired I am, people. How tired I am. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day. I will be here very early, and I will need to stay very late. Open house ends at 8, which means I probably will leave here around 8:30 or so, and then I'll get home around 9. So you'll come along with me, and don't worry, I will show you a glimpse of the information that we are sharing with the parents during open house in our PowerPoint. So I'll see you tomorrow. It is the end of the day, Thursday, and in a few short minutes, no, about an hour, the parents are going to come in for open house. So I've been here since around 8 a.m. this morning, so I'll be pulling a 12-hour day today since open house ends at 8. So I just finished translating the open house PowerPoint from English to Spanish. So I have 2 versions. We're going to do the English presentation first, and then we'll do the Spanish presentation. It'll be here in my classroom, and I'll show you in a couple minutes a little glimpse on what I included. So today I started with my block 2 this morning. We immediately started with writing since we left off on that yesterday, and what I had the students do was plan their writing. So let me show you their notebooks, because I created a simple planner for my ELL students. These are level 1s and 2s that are just learning English. So I wanted to create like a frame or something to help them plan their writing so it is simple for them, and this is what I did. So again, this is our writing prompt, and on the back of this page, I had them first, I chunked the sources for them so they didn't have to read the entire source like my other class did. But basically, we looked at the first 2 sources only, not the third one. This is what was highlighted on our ELL PowerPoint that the district gave us. Basically, source 1 was a yes, and their claim was that people should build in flood zones because it creates more jobs. And source 2 was a no. People should not build in flood zones because hurricanes cause lots of damage, and that was what the source talked about. Then I created this simple little thing for them. And I have 2, even though I only taped 1 to my notebook, because it depends on their claim. So some students were for people should build in flood zones. So then I had them write that reason, it creates more jobs, and the evidence that we got from the text. And again, their conclusion is simple. They restate their claim and write their important reason, which is it creates more jobs for this one. And then for people should not build in flood zones, we focus on hurricanes cause lots of damage. We added the evidence from the source that supports that. And again, they ended their conclusion. So I feel like this is a very simple way for them to do that. And then the next thing they'll do is just start writing their essay. So we'll start fresh on a new page. They'll write on the right side. They'll leave the left side blank. And we'll start with our introductions. So they'll write their introductions. I'll check it off, and then we'll continue to move to the body paragraph, where we're going to spend some time tomorrow and next week as well. So that is what I did with my block 1. The other thing I did, I used this writing frame from Wonders for ELL students, and basically they had to fill in the blanks. So I read the summary, I gave them the words in a word bank projected on the Promethean board, and the students had to write the words that completed the sentence. Again, this is another reinforcement of the shared read, which is what the ELL students focus on. They don't move on to the anchor text or the pair text. They just focus on the shared read. And it also emphasizes the vocabulary that we are using for this particular unit. So that's what I did with my ELL students. With my gifted students, when they came in after lunch, we went ahead and finished the anchor text on earthquakes. We talked about first-hand and second-hand accounts. We talked about primary and secondary sources, which go with first-hand and second-hand accounts. And I ended up showing them a video from vocabulary on primary and secondary sources. Then after that, we went ahead and read the paired selection and focused on author's perspective. It was a short selection, so they were able to determine the point of view, which was first person, and give me the author's perspective, how the author felt about what was happening in the story. And then we played one of the Wonders games on author's perspective so they could review that. And then we ended the day with writing, but we didn't have enough time, but this is what we ended up doing. For my gifted class, they got something a little different. So they're sorting the evidence. Each of these buckets will become their body paragraph. So my gifted class is working on 2 body paragraphs for now. So they just taped their papers, and tomorrow we'll come up with reasons. I already came up with the reasons on the board. So they will choose one of those depending on their claim. And that one will go here, and then they'll find another reason so that they can create their bucket. And then we can move on to the next page and they can start writing their introduction. Again, the right side is where the writing goes. The left side is for revisions and corrections. So that is what happened today in instruction in my 4th grade class. So let me give you a glimpse of our open house presentation. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm going to zoom through some of the slides. But we have some special video messages. I still haven't gotten the links for this, but hopefully we'll get them soon. And then we go over introductions, attendance, and some of these are given to us by administration, so we just share it with the parents. And oh my goodness, the lighting. Okay, cell phone use, again, that's from administration, birthday parties, classroom expectations, our schedule, our classroom curriculum. So we go over the best standards for Florida and how we're going to do our language arts reading curriculum. I share this with the parents on the importance of reading, along with some information from Bringing Words to Life by Isabel Beck, and some of the things that they need to make sure their child does, along with some ways that parents can help in reading. And then I also let them know how to apply for a free library card. And then I go over writing and when the state writing assessment will be, and some tips for helping their child with writing at home. And then it's my co-teacher's turn to go over the math. And then after the math, she's going to go over the ways parents can help with math. Here's science, social studies, and then we go over home learning. That's 60 minutes every night. That's an average. We don't expect the kids to actually do homework every night for 60 minutes. We are very purposeful with our homework. This is just district policy, so we just write it there. But again, I don't like to give too much homework, and I'm very purposeful with my homework, so yeah. How they can help their child at home, some information on some testing dates, why sleep is important, and ways that they can help their child. We give them some reminders before questions, and then we end with questions. And here is the Spanish version. Pretty much the same thing. It's just we're going over all the information, but this time in Spanish, translated by yours truly. And I include all of that information in Spanish. Yeah, I even recreated this into Spanish. And to provide this, again, it's the same information going back and forth between reading and then writing and then math, which we're on now, and then science, social studies, and homework, and the dates for the FAST test and how they can help their children, and some questions. So that's basically it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get back to you after. I'm pretty sure not, because we're going to stay here pretty late. So I think right after we're done, I'm just going to grab my things and go. So I'm just going to stop today, but it's not really stopping because in a few seconds, it'll be the next day. So see you tomorrow, Friday. Hello, everyone. It is the end of the day, Friday, way past the end of the day. It is actually 7:40. Yes, I did stay super late today, but I feel like I progressed really well because I stayed after school to catch up on all the grading for the past 3 weeks. I put all the grades in the grade book. I organized myself with that, and I just finished my lesson plans for this next week. I want to say next week is going to be kind of short in planning because Monday is a holiday, it's Labor Day, and then Tuesday and Thursday we're doing the first progress monitoring for the FAST test, which is our state assessment. So there's no teaching on those days. So I'm actually only teaching Wednesday and Thursday next week. So I just planned for that, put my lesson plans right by my computer. Here they are. We are starting a new Wonders unit. And like you see, I outlined the days that we're testing. Since we are testing 2 full days and it's a short 4-day week, I decided I'm not gonna assign home learning next week. And I just, being mindful of that. So today, my block 1, we immediately started with our assessment for reading for Wonders Unit 1, weeks 1 and 2, which went over text structure, compare and contrast, text features, diagrams and headings, and multiple meaning words, along with author's perspective. So I still have quite a few students that didn't finish, so that's why I don't know if you noticed, but on Wednesday I did put for my block 1 to finish that assessment, and then we'll debrief it with a fun review game. With my block 2, they also had their test, but they had the scaffolded assessment, which is half of the test the other class takes with a whole bunch of scaffolds. I think I showed it to you before, and they only had 5 questions to answer, and we did it together to kind of show them what I expect from them when they do it. Slowly but surely, I'll let them go so that they will complete it on their own. And then after that, they were just working on the computer. We had art, and we ended the day by, my mind just went blank. I just know we had a good afternoon. And yeah, so, oh yes, now I remember. We ended the day by going to the media center so that all the students in that class, which are my ESOL students, my ELL learners, could check out a dictionary on their language to English. So they got all their dictionaries. That took some time because there's 26 kids in that class. We came back to the classroom and we just ended the day together. And there was dismissal. I stayed outside in dismissal till like 3:20, 3:25, came upstairs and started working on what I just told you. So it's been a pretty busy week, like I knew it was going to be, you know, with open house last night, which by the way was amazing and so successful. We did the 2 versions. First 45 minutes English, last 45 minutes in Spanish, and the parents were so grateful. So I'm glad that it was a success. I forgot to mention that I also reviewed the homework with my ELL group because it is in English and I want them to know the expectations. So this is what I did. This is their differentiated passage for the ELLs that's provided by McGraw-Hill Wonders. So I had them annotate along with me so that they could pay attention to important information. And then we kept annotating it and noticing the headings and the diagram. And then we filled in the information here. And we also went ahead and completed the double bubble. So really happy I was able to do that. And I also checked off homework. I gave dojo points to students who turned in their homework, all completed. Yeah, I also did that. I was updating dojo points as well. So yes, it's been a very busy week, but I feel great and had a great week of learning with the kiddos. Can't wait for next week. So week 3 is done and over. Next week is the start of the 4th week. And soon we'll have progress reports out, which I'm so glad I caught up with my grading because I'm ready for that. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this 3rd week of school. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.